Welcome back to another episode of the Unscripted Podcast. As always, I'm your host Eduardo, and I'm here with my co-host Edward. What's up, Edward?
Hello, Ed. What's going on with you?
Not much. How was your holidays, Christmas break? We had a jam-packed sports weekend, holiday weekend.
I think people were watching more NFL than the NBA was kind of a tradition where the NBA kind of takes away, pretty much occupies the whole Christmas day from noon all the way to night. But
It's
the
the
NFL,
NFL.
just,
It's the NFL's day now,
the NFL decided to put three games on Christmas.
and big games. The first one, I guess, obviously, the Chiefs and Mahomes, so everybody's gonna watch it. And then obviously the last one, well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Was the Ravens and the 49ers was possibly a Super Bowl preview. But yeah, the NFL took the NBA's day. I probably watched like an hour, like a couple minutes of the Knicks Bucks, and then after that I just tuned into the NFL. So maybe the NFL, the NBA can maybe move it to Boxing Day the next day. But yeah, it's the
I
NFL's day.
mean, I think the only way that works is if the Toronto Raptors are kind of the hot team, but I don't
I
know,
mean,
they've been a little.
Boxing Day is usually for Premier League soccer, so any English fans, any English Premier fans, it's only their day, so they get there. But yeah, it was the NFL's day on Christmas Eve. I mean, on Christmas Day and Eve too. Pretty much football every the whole weekend. But let's get to it. Let's just really talk about it real quick. Your Steelers played on Saturday and they won
Yeah,
with
as you can see,
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. You know, he
yeah, we're
came
gonna
out to help.
yeah, we're kind of leaning into that pun. Kind of, I'm not saying it's getting annoying,
A
but
Christmas
the
miracle.
the
A
joke
little
the joke writes itself.
yeah, Christmas came early for you Steelers fans, and they gave you a little gift, and you guys beat the Bengals 34-11, and currently are you guys are currently 10th right now in the playoff hunt, but
I thought we were in ninth.
possibly ninth. Possibly ninth. I think so. I mean, from what I'm seeing is 10th right now. Um, did the Bengals beat you or you guys beat them twice already?
We beat the Bengals twice.
Okay, so then you guys would be ninth, maybe. Maybe ninth or 10th. I'm not sure. The way I see it right now, I just it's kind of showing like that. But you guys are 8-7. What's your thoughts on that game? I saw a little bit. My question is to you. Why does this offense look better with Mason Rudolph and it didn't look good with Trubisky and Kenny Pickett?
Probably because Rudolph is the longest tenured quarterback in that longest tenured quarterback on that depth chart, so he probably has a good understanding of, I guess, the
I
offense.
mean, he didn't play for 2 years, right? 2 years? He hasn't well started the game, right? Like I
I would
guess
say about a year and a half. The last game he started was, I want to say, the 2021 season when Big Ben came down with COVID. They tied to the Lions.
well, I mean, he had a the offense, like I said, he looked good. 17 for 27. Pat threw for 290, two touchdowns. And George Pickens, he had a day. He kept receipts. That's what I guess that's what I was gonna say. What is your background? But it looking like it's George Pickens IG
Yep.
story.
Yep.
Um he like you say he kept receipts. Everybody was like talking, negatively about him. Uh, you know, people and then some Steelers fans and about his blocking and certain things, the way that he said like he didn't want to get hurt in that play, so he just didn't block. But I mean, he stepped up real big, four catches for 195 and two touchdowns. Him and Rudolph just had a connection, just like from the bat.
I mean, yeah, I'm a Steelers fan, so yeah, I'll be a little biased, but I'll just say that this is kind of what the offense needed. Maybe like incorporate Pickens more into the offense, kind
Hmm.
of like dial up more plays for him, make everything kind of like go through him. Because if my memory serves me right, I believe George Pickens has had a touchdown against each divisional opponent at home.
Hmm.
He had one in the Browns game, he had one in the Ravens game, and he had one against the Bengals.
Hmm.
So I mean, I love George Pickens. He's just an alien with the football.
Hmm. His unbelievable catches.
hmm So I just think the offense should be running. They should be calling up more plays for him. And
So with Rudolph, how do you think the offense is gonna go? Is it more passing or do they do more? They're
I
gonna
mean,
keep running the ball. I mean, Najee had a decent game. 19 carries for 78 yards and one touchdown. Jalen Warren really wasn't. I mean, a little bit of he didn't only 24 yards rushing. I mean, yeah, it's rushing and then 30 yards from receiving. Um, Deontay Johnson though, he only had two catches for 15 yards.
I mean, I guess when you have a win, everything kind of what's the word? I'm not saying like everything's gone right, but
I
a
mean,
win can kind of like,
winning cures a lot of things. And right now, you guys are winning. Right now, some fans are happy. Right now, you guys are
mhm.
happy right now because you guys won and you guys won big. Won like
I've said it in past
played
episodes,
really
but
well.
I guess maybe finally we had what's called a statement game when you pretty much control everything from start to
Yeah,
finish.
you guys played well. So I mean, I think right now you guys are good. I don't know who you guys play. What is there? How many games left? Two more, right?
Two more next week. We go to Seattle and play the
Seattle.
Seahawks,
Yeah,
and
that's not easy.
the week after
Ravens.
that, yep,
You guys going against the best team right now in the NFL. You guys are going against the Ravens, who are the best team in the NFL. And let's just get right into it. When talking about the Ravens, this was the big matchup, is where everybody wanted Christmas Day, um, Christmas night. It was Ravens versus the 49ers, the best team in the AFC versus the best team in the NFC. And basically, some people were calling the Niners the best team in the NFL. And I think I also said they were the best team in the NFL. I think we both previous pod we were talking to saying like I think the Niners were gonna win because the way they were playing, we didn't see how anybody would stop the Niners. I didn't see anything, and also I don't think the Ravens have been talked about. Like we don't really talk much about the Ravens. I don't think the media has really talked that much about the Ravens. They've won. They've had like before they come in the game, they had 11 wins. But it's just they have Lamar. Lamar's a MV wasn't he's an MVP. He's an MVP candidate. He's favored to win MVP right now. I'm pretty sure he should. But like they haven't nobody has really talked about the Ravens. And we live around like in the area, so like we still don't even hear that much noise about the Ravens.
I
And
mean,
right,
I feel like the Ravens maybe they want to keep it that way. Like they feel like
I mean
it's one of those feelings
they
like they hear the noise, like everybody's kind of writing us off, and just use it as motivation just to keep performing at a high level.
because you heard what Lamar the post conference. I guess was it Mike Florio said like previously he was gonna like the Niners were gonna beat the shit out of the Ravens, and so after the game ended, he was like, he kind of disrespectful and all that stuff, and the Ravens they dominated the Niners. They completely dominated the Niners, and I think Brock Purdy's case for MVP kind of went down. He had four interceptions.
Finished the game at 18, 30. He didn't finish the game, but his stats said 18 for 32, 255 yards, no touchdowns, four picks.
Four picks, and then one of them was in the end zone. I think oh that one was a bad pass, and then I think two were tipped
Yeah, two were
passes.
tipped.
Two were tipped, and then yeah, they did not look good. McCaffrey an amazing night. I mean, amazing day. He had 14 carries for 103 yards, and that obviously he's always gonna score. That guy is just I mean, without him, I don't even know how the Snyder would be. Obviously, I think he should definitely be in the discussion for MVP, but obviously we know it's a quarterback award, so he's not gonna win it. George Kittle had a great game. I mean, like Kittle, Ayuk, they had big games. They went over 100 yards. Um, but then like Sam Darnold came in and
I just
finished
think
the game.
it just basically the Niners probably just caught the Ravens slipping because throughout the game I saw
Was
the Ravens. I think they pretty much their whole game plan was pretty much come up with different defensive schemes to kind of
They rushed Brock Purdy. They got
yeah,
to
they
him. They
rush
said
Brock
that
Purdy. They put like different coverages
pressure.
around. They put different coverages around him, and I guess they were just gonna make Brock Purdy kind of like just off of his A game.
And the Niners, they have good defense. Obviously, their pass rusher, they have Bosa, obviously Fred Warner, and then the other side they have Chase Young, and so everybody, the Niners were confident trying to get to Lamar, but Lamar just, you know,
Hard to do what he does.
yeah, and he's possibly another MVP, be
He ran the
two-time
ball
MVP.
7 times for 45 yards.
And we knew that he was going to run the ball because obviously with that defense that they have, the Niners defense. But I mean, he cooked them off in the passing game too. He had 23 for 35, 252, two touchdowns. Um, one to Zay Flowers, which I think the Zay Flowers one was it an interception or was it a fumble that they got? It was the Niners. They think
I think it came off it
they
was
got picked
it
off. It was
yeah, it
an
got
inter
picked off.
It got picked off and it led to the Zay Flowers touchdown. But obviously, I think after losing Mark Andrews, a lot of people were like, "Oh, okay, maybe the Ravens are not going to be that great." But everybody has stepped up. Isaiah Likely, the tight end, 3 catches, 56 yards. He had that one stiff arm that just obviously Gus Edwards. He's been a good pass been key for that team after losing J.K. Dobbins. He had a touchdown, 31 yards. Um, I mean, just everybody, Odell, Bateman, Aguilar. He even scored a touchdown. But if you look at all these receivers' names, it's not like huge, big names, but Lamar has really stepped up. And without Lamar, who knows what this team would be like the way they are. So I think his case for MVP, like it's really showing like he should definitely be the MVP favorite. And he's been low key under the radar. Like, he's been playing well, but we've always talked about Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, the
Um,
thing with like I guess the MVP discussion, yeah, you said it's probably more like a quarterback driven, like a quarterback award, but I think a lot of teams' records kind of overshadow, I guess, the criteria of like what kind of constitutes as an MVP.
but their record, they were 11-3, but coming to this game, so like they had a winning record. They were first in the division. I think at that time they were still first in the AFC, and right now they're first in the AFC and possibly getting a home field advantage. But obviously MVP, when you think about it, is like in
It's on a
fact,
week by week basis. The narrative
yeah, it
changes
drops. Yeah,
all the
and
time.
the narrative changed all the time. But I think like a lot of Ravens fans had a lot of questions. They were like, some of them were like, oh, don't pay. They didn't want to pay Lamar, and some people were like, just pay Lamar. We need him, and he's really showing like why he got paid and why he got that bag, and it's looking good for them, and it's possibly like they're favorites to go to the Super Bowl. And the AFC is pretty tough because you have the Bills, they're hot right now, and then you have the Dolphins that beat the Cowboys. They're on and off, and then you know you still have the Chiefs, I guess, but like the Chiefs haven't looked that great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you just want to get into it with the
let
Chiefs.
is the Chiefs are the Chiefs collapsing? Is their dynasty collapsing? Is like everything just is this year is I don't, like I said previous, but I don't think this is the year they're going to Super Bowl. I don't even if
They're
I
currently sitting at 9-6.
I don't even see them in the AFC Championship. May somehow possibly Mahomes will like somehow maybe possibly get them there, but they just don't
Uh,
play. They do not play well. The Raiders came and went to
I
go play
mean,
there at Arrowhead.
here's some food for thought. Here's a stat. I guess Mahomes now has his career high in interceptions. I think he's thrown 14 on the season.
And I think
So,
this is the first year he's not gonna have like over 12 wins or more.
so I think we alluded to it in the past episode, but I think we can kind of like have the final verdict saying that without Eric Bieniemy, I think the Chiefs they're kind of maybe regressing or just they're playing sloppy and just this isn't like the Chiefs football we've seen in the past when Mahomes just entered the league.
But that's showing more like Bieniemy wasn't getting a lot of credit. It was all Andy Reid, and which credit, Andy Reid is a great coach. He is a great play caller and everything. But now it's showing like, obviously Bieniemy and they also need receivers.
Yeah,
They
the
need they
personnel.
yeah, they need help. Like Like in the beginning, Travis Kelce had a little bit, he made some big plays in the beginning, but obviously I think he's still hurt. Possibly. I don't know what is going on. Obviously he's getting double teamed, but he is not the same Travis Kelce from last year and even previous years. Like he hasn't been that dominant. He has flashes certain times, but he hasn't played well. Rashid Rice has stepped up, but he's just only a rookie, right? Rashid Rice. Um,
Yep.
but obviously they still have their other tight ends, Noah Gray, Blake Bell, Clyde Edwards-Helaire come back to start has come back and started playing and has been a key a little bit, has incorporated into this offense and has helped. He has made big plays. I think Pacheco, was he hurt? He got
He
hurt.
got hurt during the game. I think he took a knee to the head and his helmet came off. And then for
I
some
think
reason,
his helmet came off like twice, I think.
yeah, and then like once he got to the medical sideline, the bench just fell apart.
Collapsed. That basically sums up the whole like the Chiefs season right now. It collapsed.
Yeah, the term
And
they call that is a comedy of errors. Like what can go wrong just like kept going wrong.
and you see like we said in the last episode, like or other episodes before, the frustration of this Chiefs offense, this team. Like Travis Kelce, I think you see a clip where he threw his helmet off. They're trying to give it back. Andy Reid said no, kind of blocked it away, like said like, and then he kind of talked to him, but you kind of see Andy Reid push him, and he just Travis Kelce frustrated. Mahomes, he was yelling to the O line because they can't protect him either.
Oh yeah, he was running for his life the whole game.
Yeah, and you could see like he was running for life, and he was just tired, and just like he was trying to get the team back into winning this game, and he just can't, and that's why I just don't see the Chiefs like getting far this year, and I think this is not the year of the Chiefs. The Chiefs, I'm already saying that they're not gonna go to the Super Bowl, and I don't even see them going to the Super Bowl. Even though it's Mahomes and everything, but the way that this team has been played, and like we said, December is the time to start playing well and start connecting. Like miscommunications too. That fumble, whatever I think it was the fumble, right?
Oh
The
yeah, the fumble that not the fumble Pacheco made, right?
Yeah, the fumble, and then
The pick
this
six.
yeah the like the miss what's it called, the center, he didn't like give it to Mahomes properly, and so it's just like the miscommunications. Every game is
Yeah,
something, and it
basically going
just
back to what I said about yeah, playing sloppy.
yeah, they're just playing sloppy, and I don't. I think things can get cleaned up. I think Mahomes said like things will get cleaned up and stuff, but it should have been cleaned up by now. We're already in close to January. We're almost to January. That we're at the end of December. It's playoffs coming soon, and it's one game elimination. And so the way Chiefs are playing, and if it's at away, and if they got to go to Miami, or if they got to go to Baltimore, if they got to go to what's another team like. Who would what other team would they? Well,
You know, team in the AFC.
I mean, they'll be as of right now, they'll get home field advantage because they won the division. But still, do you want the Browns to go over there? Because the Browns, the way they're playing, with Joe Flacco, he's showing a lot of people that he can still ball, and that defense is not to mess with. Amari Cooper had a unbelievable game. So who wants to go against the Browns? So that's what I'm saying. Like I don't see this Chiefs team making it far, despite Mahomes' greatness and everything. But I think
Another
it's
thing about like the Chiefs Raiders game, it's been talked about, but I don't think it's really getting highlighted as much. The
mhm.
job Antonio Pierce has done with the Las Vegas
Oh
Raiders.
yeah, he should definitely get it. He should definitely keep the job. I think
Hmm.
the way that team has been playing, they're kind of playing Raiders football. They're just so
They're definitely more inspired and like there's just like breath. There's like new life and like new energy with that team.
that's what I'm saying. I think a lot of like teams sometimes you just need to let go of like the coaching staff or certain things just to let it go and certain teams need a fresh air and like start playing well. Look at the Chargers. Despite, we lost against the Bills, but the team played well, you know. Offensively they played well. They almost beat the Bills. So sometimes it just you have to let go of the coaching staff. Um, but yeah, like I said, I don't see the Chiefs making it. And right now, what right now? Well, they're third right now, but they'll still make the playoffs because I think they'll win it. Somehow they win the division. Well, who else? I think the Jags. For some reason, I think the Jags are not gonna make the playoffs. I think um Trevor Lawrence is hurt, and they just even when he was there, they're so inconsistent. They're not consistent. They're not a consistent team. You can't trust the Jags. Some games they do played well. Some games they just play shit. So I don't think the Jags will make the playoffs. Um, Hopefully the Texans can make it. Possibly the Steelers can make it. You know, maybe that last game could be important.
Same what you're saying with the Jags. They're 2-5 ever since that little towel comment that Trevor Lawrence made. So and the linebacker, I can't forget his name, but kind of disrespected the towel. And you don't do that. You don't do that in real ones. We call it Heinz Field, not Acrisure.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah, let that
I
be a lesson.
yeah, I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. NFC side, man, the Lions. They finally won the division. The Kings of the AFC, I mean the NFC North. Was it 30 years? Since
It's been 30 years.
Jesus Christ, man. That team, that fan base, that less loyalty, man. And the team has played well. I think that team is they're fun to watch. Who knows who would they would go against? It's possibly looking like Matt Stafford would return to Detroit and possibly could eliminate them. So, I mean, who knows? But yeah, I mean that's about it for today's episode. I don't have any last comment, any last words, any last like thoughts on the week of the NFL or possibly NBA. Like I said, we did have games on Christmas Day,
I mean, yeah, everybody's probably sleeping on the couch after eating their meal, but Luka dropped 50.
and then the Pistons are still winless.
Yikes.
And was it Cade Cunningham? He dropped how many points? And they still
Uh,
lost
let's see. How much do you have?
29 games losing streak, right? And they haven't won
He,
since their
he
season
dropped
opener.
41 last night.
Jesus Christ, man. They had the Pistons. I don't know if they'll ever win a game this year, possibly next year. 'Cause, yeah, they're not looking that great. But that's it, man. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next year. Hopefully everybody has a great holidays. Till then, peace.
Goodbye. Happy New Year.
And then